The first time the alien warrior laughed at me, I thought she might actually break something. Not because she was angry. Because the sound was so loud and sharp that it echoed off the steel walls of the training hall like a cannon blast. Her name was Kaelira, a warrior of the Veyth Dominion. Among her people she was known as a Stormblade, an elite soldier who had survived dozens of campaigns across hostile planets. Among humans, she was terrifying. The Veyth species looked almost human at first glance, but only almost. They were taller, their muscles coiled like steel cables beneath pale silver skin. Their eyes glowed faintly blue, a side effect of the energy flowing through their nervous systems. And their joints were stronger than anything nature had ever designed on Earth. Which is exactly why Kaelira couldn't stop laughing at mine. "Your arms bend too far," she said, circling me in the training arena. Her translator implant softened her accent, but not the amusement in her voice. I rubbed my elbow, still sore from the last training exercise. "That's how human elbows work." Kaelira crouched down beside me, examining the joint like a curious scientist. Then she gently pushed my arm backward. I winced. She burst into laughter again. "Fragile," she said. "Your joints are weak. Your skeleton is weak. Your species should not survive combat." "Thanks," I muttered. She straightened and crossed her arms. "And yet," she added thoughtfully, "you defeated 2 Veyth trainees this morning." I shrugged. "They underestimated me." Her glowing eyes narrowed slightly. "Yes," she said. "They did." The training hall buzzed with the sounds of sparring warriors. Veyth soldiers moved through drills with frightening precision, faster and stronger than any human could ever match. Except for one thing. They were predictable. Their strength came from biology. Ours came from creativity. And that difference was exactly why the Galactic Council had invited humans to train alongside the Veyth Dominion. Not as equals, but as experiments. Kaelira tapped the metal floor with her boot. "Stand," she ordered. I stood. She tossed me a practice blade. "Fight me." I blinked. "Are you serious?" She tilted her head. "Afraid?" "No," I said quickly. But I was absolutely afraid. Kaelira was one of the most feared warriors in the Dominion, and she wanted to spar. I took a deep breath and raised the blade. "All right," I said. "But if I lose an arm, you're explaining that to my commander." She smiled. "Acceptable." Then she attacked. Middle. "If you've never fought someone twice your strength and speed, let me explain what it feels like. It feels like trying to dodge a lightning strike." Kaelira moved faster than my eyes could track. Her blade swept toward me in a flash of silver. I barely blocked it. The impact rattled my bones. She grinned. "Too slow." Her second strike came low. I jumped back, barely avoiding it. The third strike knocked my weapon clean out of my hand. The blade skidded across the arena floor. Kaelira froze mid-attack. Then she stepped back. "That was disappointing," she said. I picked up my weapon again. "Give me a second." She tilted her head. "Why?" "Because," I said, stretching my shoulder, "I haven't started fighting yet." Her expression shifted. Curiosity. "Begin." This time I moved first. Not faster. Smarter. Instead of meeting her strength head-on, I dodged. I twisted my body in ways Veyth physiology simply couldn't replicate. My weak joints bent and rotated beyond their natural range. Her blade missed by centimeters. She frowned. Again. I slipped past her guard. Again. She tried to anticipate my movement, but human unpredictability drove her crazy. Finally she lunged. I dropped low. My shoulder twisted under her arm. My elbow bent sharply backward as I spun behind her. And suddenly my blade was resting against her neck. Silence filled the arena. Veyth trainees stopped sparring. Kaelira stood perfectly still. Then she slowly turned her head toward me. Her glowing eyes widened. "How?" she whispered. I lowered the blade. "Human joints," I said. "Flexible." She stared at me. Then she began laughing again. But this time it sounded different. Not mocking. Excited. "Remarkable," she said. The other warriors gathered around us. One of them asked, "Did the human defeat you?" Kaelira crossed her arms. Yes. The arena erupted with shocked murmurs. Veyth warriors almost never lost. Especially not to humans. She turned to me again. What is your name? Marcus Hale. She studied me carefully. Marcus Hale, she repeated. From this moment forward, you train with me. I blinked. Wait, what? Her voice became serious. You possess a combat advantage the Veyth do not understand. I shrugged. Flexibility? She nodded slowly. Yes. Then she smiled. And I intend to learn it. The next few weeks changed everything. Every morning Kaelira dragged me into the arena. Every afternoon we sparred. Every night she analyzed my movements like a puzzle she was determined to solve. But there was one problem. Her body couldn't move the way mine could. Her joints were too rigid. During one training session she tried copying one of my evasive spins. Her knee locked. She crashed to the floor. The entire arena gasped. Veyth warriors rarely fell. Kaelira looked furious. I offered a hand. You okay? She slapped it away. I will master this, she growled. You might not be able to. Her eyes flashed. Why? Because Veyth bodies aren't built for it. She stood slowly. That is unacceptable. I sighed. Look, strength isn't everything. Her gaze sharpened. Explain. So I did. I explained how human martial arts evolved around mobility and leverage instead of brute force. How our bodies compensated for weakness through technique. How unpredictability could defeat strength. She listened silently. Then she said something surprising. Teach me. I blinked. You're asking? Yes. I smiled slightly. All right. And from that moment forward, we stopped being rivals and started becoming something else. Partners. Months passed. Training turned into teamwork. Teamwork turned into trust. And trust slowly transformed into something deeper. One evening after a brutal sparring session, Kaelira sat beside me on the arena floor. Her silver skin glistened with sweat. You are still fragile, she said. Thanks. But you are also dangerous. I smirked. I'll take that as a compliment. She studied my arm again. That joint, she said thoughtfully. What about it? She gently bent my elbow. You should not be able to move like this. Yet here we are. She smiled faintly. Yes. Then she said something that changed everything. In Veyth culture, she said quietly, warriors who master combat together are bonded. I looked at her. Bonded? Partners. I chuckled. Well, we already trained together. She shook her head. No. Her glowing eyes met mine. I mean something more. And the war began 3 months later. The Veyth Dominion attacked without warning. Their fleets tore through outer colonies, burning entire worlds before the Galactic Council could respond. And the Veyth Dominion? They were the first line of defense. Kaelira's unit was deployed to a frontier planet called Draxos, a mining world surrounded by jagged mountains and poisonous oceans. I wasn't supposed to go. Humans were observers, advisors, not soldiers in alien wars. But Kaelira refused to leave without me. He is my partner, she told her commander. The Veyth officer looked skeptical. A fragile human? Kaelira's eyes flashed. He defeated me. The officer paused, then nodded. Very well. And just like that, I was heading into my first interstellar battle. Draxos was chaos. Car warships filled the sky like black storms. Explosions lit the horizon. Veyth warriors fought across the battlefield with brutal efficiency. But the Car were stronger, bigger, relentless. Our unit was pinned inside a shattered fortress overlooking the valley. Kaelira crouched beside me behind a broken wall. Her armor was scorched. You should not have come, she said. I checked my rifle. Too late now. Enemy soldiers advanced through the smoke. Kaelira stood. Stay behind me. Not happening. She glanced back at me. You are fragile. Yeah, I said. But I'm clever. She smiled slightly. Then prove it. The battle exploded around us. Car warriors crashed into the fortress like living tanks. Veyth soldiers met them with blades and plasma rifles. I ducked behind cover, scanning the battlefield. Then I saw it. A weakness. The car armor plates left a small gap near the hip joint. I shouted the discovery to Kaelira. She understood instantly. Moments later she launched herself into the enemy ranks. Her blade struck precisely where I told her. One car warrior collapsed. Then another. Then another. The tide began to shift. But the enemy commander noticed. A massive car elite charged straight toward us. Kaelira intercepted him. Their blades clashed like thunder. He was stronger. Much stronger. One strike knocked her to her knees. I ran forward. "Marcus, stay back," she shouted. Too late. The car commander swung his weapon at me. I ducked. My weak joints bent sharply as I twisted beneath the strike. The alien froze in surprise. No Veyth could move like that. I lunged forward and fired directly into the armor gap. The blast staggered him. Kaelira seized the opening. Her blade pierced straight through the weak point. The car commander collapsed. Silence spread across the battlefield. Then the enemy forces began retreating. We had won. Hours later the fortress was quiet again. Smoke drifted across the battlefield. Kaelira sat beside me on the wall, watching the sunset over Draxos. "You broke 3 of my ribs," I said. "You survived." "Barely." She looked thoughtful. "Today you saved my life." I shrugged. "Partners." She studied me for a long moment. Then she said softly, "When we first met, I laughed at your weak joints." "Yeah, I remember. I was wrong." "Oh." She reached over and gently took my hand. "Your weakness was your strength." I smiled. "Humans do that sometimes." Her glowing eyes softened. In Veyth culture, warriors who survive battle together become bound partners. I raised an eyebrow. "Sounds familiar." She stepped closer. "But there is another meaning." "What's that?" She rested her forehead against mine. "Life partners." I blinked. "Wait, are you proposing?" She smiled. "Yes." I laughed. "You know what?" "What?" "For someone who used to mock my weak joints." "Yes." "You've gotten pretty attached to them." She laughed, loud and proud. And for the first time since we met, the alien warrior who once mocked me now stood beside me as something far greater. Not a rival. Not just a partner. But the strongest ally I would ever have. And as the sun set over Draxos, Kaelira squeezed my hand. "Come, Marcus Hale," she said. "Our next battle awaits." And this time, we would face it together.